AI agents can plan useful work, call tools, and propose changes. But a useful plan is not authorized action. When advice becomes execution, ask, does it have authority and can a reviewer verify why? Governor agent is a small, inspectable decision layer for that boundary. In this synthetic offline demo, a request is evaluated against declared scope, deterministic policy, and available evidence. Governor then produces one of three explicit outcomes: allow, deny, or escalate. The agent can structure the work, but it cannot overrule the governing result. The flow is deliberately simple. A request enters with an objective and permitted effects. Governor checks the authority granted to that request, applies the relevant policy, and records structured evidence. If the request fits the declared boundary, it may be allowed. If it conflicts with the boundary, it is denied. If the evidence cannot resolve an ownership decision, authority returns to a human. This separation keeps recommendation, policy, evidence, and approval distinguishable. These are not animated outcomes. They come from the pinned governor-agent version, using public synthetic fixtures and the offline model provider. Safe stays within scope. Governor returns allow. The second request violates its permit scope. Governor returns deny. A persistent source creates ownership ambiguity. Governor returns escalate for human review. The visible presentation is intentionally concise, but it is not a replacement for runtime evidence. The presentation layer consumes the real JSON result, verifies scenario, decision, exit code, and applicable reason, and only then projects selected public fields. Governor stores an append-only audit record privately. This gives reviewers a clear result on screen while preserving the structured evidence needed to inspect what happened. A mismatch fails close instead of producing a polished but unsupported presentation. Escalate is not a vague error state. It marks a decision the available evidence does not authorize. Here, deciding which persistent source should own the value is a human architectural responsibility. Governor makes the ambiguity visible and stops at that boundary. Human review also remains mandatory for captures, claims, voice, the final preview, and publication. The pattern extends beyond these three fixtures. Governed workflows need a way to distinguish valid scope, explicit conflict, and unresolved authority before action is treated as approved. Structured decisions can support review, evaluation, and correction without presenting the model itself as the final authority. This demo is intentionally narrow. It demonstrates declared boundaries, reproducible outcomes, and inspectable evidence, not universal safety or production readiness. Everything shown here is synthetic and offline. This demo uses no production data, AUS, or Bedrock, and it does not claim external integrations or autonomous publication. Governor keeps authority explainable, testable, reviewable. Allow scope, deny conflict, and return ambiguity to humans.